Hey everyone, welcome to part 3 of my Wizard of Oz tutorial series. Today I'm going to show you how to make the Tin Man donut. And it's really simple, and you don't need much clay. You just need some tan oven baked clay for the base. You need some kind of silver clay for like the frosting part of the donut. And then you need just a little bit of red for the heart. You're going to need some kind of tool to make the little indents in the heart and, you know, the little tin parts. I just use this store-bought tool like this, but you can use something similar like a toothpick. And you're going to need something to also make the center of the donut. You can use the same thing like a toothpick, or this is what I use. It's sort of like a, I don't know exactly what this thing is called, but you know, you can see how the tip gets bigger towards the end. It's really good for making donuts. So let's get started. First thing you're going to do is take your tan clay and make a triangular donut shape. To do that, I start by rolling it into a ball, and then you want to flatten it into a disc. It's going to be a thick disc, so don't flatten it too much. And then press the sides and the bottom to make it into a triangle. I like to make it sort of a tall triangle, if that makes sense. That way it reminds me of the Tin Man's hat. I also did this with the witch donut as well. I'm going to smooth all the sides so they're all nice and, you know, not bumpy or anything. Okay, that's my donut. And I just need a hole in the center. So I'm going to use this tool. Insert it into the middle, and then move it around like this, and it'll make a nice hole. You can probably hear my kitten meowing in the background. I have her in the bedroom because if I let her out here, she would be jumping all over the table, and you wouldn't be able to see this tutorial. You would just be seeing a kitten jump everywhere. Okay, anyway, the next thing we're going to do is just take our silver, and I'm not going to need this much, but you want to do the same thing that you did with this, just make it into a flat disc. I have to condition my clay a little bit. Okay. So just make this into a triangle shape as well, but a lot flatter, and you want it to be a little bigger than the donut because it's going to be kind of hanging over the sides like frosting. And don't worry about it being perfect or anything. You just want to make sure that there's no like cracks or anything in the clay. And if you have those, you can either try to smooth it out or just recondition your clay. Okay, so once you have the thickness that you want and the size, just lay it on top of the donut and push down the silver onto the tan. Push down on all the sides. Okay. I don't know if you can see that very well. And just do the same thing that you did with the tan using your tool. Just poke down through the center. Move it around like this. Turn it over and repeat. After you make a few of these, you'll be able to, you know, match up the holes pretty well. So, alright, now we're going to take what's left of our silver, and it doesn't, you know, there's no right or wrong way to do this, but, you know, you can see on this one how there's like a round sort of tin piece, and underneath the heart, and you can't really tell too well, but there's a square one there. And it's just to kind of give him that pieced together look that he has in the movie. So you can do this any way you want. Just take some of the silver clay and, you know, just make shapes out of it. and like I'm going to make a round one, so what I do is just make a little disc, and then I take my tool and then just push in around the sides, and it'll sort of give like a, I really don't know how to describe it, but it's sort of like a patch of metal, I guess. Okay, and you want to just stick that on anywhere that you want. Okay, and I'm going to make a square one like I did in the first one. I want this to be a little flatter. The first one wasn't too flat, so I want this to be a little flatter because I'm going to be putting my heart on top of that. So flatten it down pretty well, make it into a square shape. Again, these can be any shape that you want. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I just sort of came up with this, you know, kind of picturing what the Tin Man looks like, and bringing that into donut form is kind of interesting. But just be creative with it, you know. Okay, I didn't see that very well, but I just did the same thing that I did with the round disc. I just used my tool, went around the outside, made little marks. Okay, and just stick that on wherever you want. I'm putting mine in the bottom corner here. Okay, so all he needs now is a heart. So just take a little bit of red clay and roll it into a ball. Flatten it into your fingers so it's a disc. Pinch one corner like this. So now you have a teardrop shape. And then it's easier if you lay it down. Just take your tool, and I want to make sure you can see this. Just take your tool and press into the top, which is how I make these little hearts. So that's the heart. I'm sure there's a lot of other ways to make hearts, so it doesn't really matter how you make it. It's up to you. And just apply that to wherever you want it on the Tin Man. And that's the finished look right there. If you're wanting to make this into a charm, you're going to need a head pin or an eye pin. With donuts, I think eye pins are a lot better to use so you don't see the wire through the hole. So I have an eye pin here, and I like to insert these off to the side so that you don't see, you know, the pin through the hole. And he's done. At this point, you're just going to bake it according to the instructions on your clay package, and then you can glaze it. So, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the remaining 2 videos of my Wizard of Oz tutorial series. Those are going to be the Scarecrow and the Lion. Thank you.